Now, certain trade unions are threatening the jobs of ordinary Fijian workers by asking, in this case, the United States government to punish Fiji for its labor law reforms. Now, instead of working with government to create jobs, improve our efficiency, and attract new investment in the country, certain leaders of unions, union movement, are intent on destroying Fiji's exports and our economy. This stems from the action of the Fiji Trade Union Congress and few other supporters in seeking the American government's sanctions against our nation, and this is tantamount to sabotage. It's sabotaging our economy, and it's threatening our people's livelihood. Now, why is this so? These unions want to stop Fiji from benefiting from US generalized system of preferences, a scheme which has been in place since 1976. It gives certain Fijian exporters the economic advantage to export into the US market free of tariffs, which is duty-free. And Fiji is not unique. Other developing countries also benefit from this scheme. Now, if these unions have their way, 39 Fijian companies, which now export a range of products, will lose their preferential access. In other words, will lose their duty-free access and the benefits from the US GSP scheme. This means an immediate loss of export revenue to the tune of US 57 million. Fijian companies and firms in the fisheries, agriculture, garments, mineral water, all these sectors will lose their business, and these include some of the small, medium enterprises that export niche products into the US market. Ultimately, 15,000 jobs will be lost if Fiji is removed from the US GSP scheme, which is what certain union leaders are petitioning for. The impact will be felt especially at grassroots level, as most of the workers in these factories are from lower income bracket, and majority of them are women. If you take the average household of 5 persons per household, and given the fact that these factory workers or these employees are sole breadwinners, the loss of 15,000 jobs would mean a loss of support and livelihood to potentially 75,000 Fijian citizens. Now, ironically, these union leaders are harming ordinary Fijian workers whose rights they claim to champion. Their actions demonstrate that they are not acting on behalf of the Fijian workers at all, but they are acting for their own political and personal agendas. The Bainimarama government has worked hard to persuade certain union leaders to accept our roadmap, to accept the need for labor reform. We want to empower ordinary workers in individual workplace, rather than having conditions imposed on them from union bosses from outside. Across a broad front, the government is acting to reinvigorate government-owned enterprises to protect existing jobs and create new ones. We have been willing to work in partnership with workers' representatives, and in turn, some of them or most of them are willing to work with us. But we cannot work with union leaders whose actions seriously damage the Fijian economy, destroy the jobs of ordinary people, and affect the livelihood of the working poor. The Bainimarama government is acting to lift wages, standards of employment, and not keep Fijians in a straitjacket imposed by the union leaders who place their own interest ahead of the workers and the members. You are aware that the certain trade union leaders are engaged in battles with each other to advance their own position, and they have produced a very public war of words. The interest of ordinary workers must not be sacrificed as these misguided individuals struggle for power and the spoils of office. The welfare of entire country is now being jeopardized in favor of these leaders, these union leaders' own self-interest. It is high time, ladies and gentlemen, for these unions to represent the best interest of the Fijian workers and not put their own interest before the workers' interest.